Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan 'abduhu wa rasuluh. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإنك أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحديث هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أو كما قال المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, rahimakumullah, may Allah SWT bestow upon us His blessings and His mercy. Tonight we shall continue our study on the Tafsir Surah Al-Jinn, or Tafsir Surah Al-Jinn, written by Al-Allamah Abu Al-Fida Ismail Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala, our Imam in Tafsir, one of the best students, or one of the greatest students of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. We stopped during the previous class. We stopped on the sixth verse, or ayat number 6. وَأَنَّهُ كَانَ رِجَالٌ مِّنَ الْإِنسِ يَعُوذُونَ بِرِجَالٍ مِّنَ الْجِنِّ فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. Surah Al-Jinn, surah number 72, according to the order in the Mus'haf. According to the order in the Mus'haf of Rasam Uthmani. And the 6th verse, mentioning about some of the men among the human beings. Some men among the human beings seek refuge from some men among the jinn. And the jinns does not give them but more terror, more damage, sickness, and whatsoever. And this ayah clearly gives us a dalil, an evidence that the jinn have gender, because Allah mentioned rijalun minal jinn. Rijal means men, 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 or people, of male gender. Therefore, Allah SWT indirectly prohibits us from seeking refuge or seeking help from the jinn, because those who seek help, or those who sought help from them in the past, since the time of the ignorance, since the time of Jahiliyyah, the jinn never give any benefits to human being, but more devastation, more terror. That's why people who seek refuge from the jinn does not be, or will not be successful, both in this world and in the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this ayah 1,400 years ago. And today, we see a lot of people, a lot of humans are still doing the same thing just like in the time of the ignorance. People seek help from the jinn, especially in the process of treatment, in the process of ilaj, in the process of ruqyah, in the process of exorcism, by seeking help from the greater jinn to get rid of the weaker jinn in the body of the possessed person. And this has happened a lot of times, and it has been even recorded. It has been uploaded in the social media, especially in the YouTube. You can search for Ben Halima, for example. People call him Sheikh, but he is not a Sheikh. In fact, he is a liar, a kahin. Kahin means black, or call him kahin is like something like bomo in Malay. In Malay culture, it's a bomo, because bomo works together with the jinn. That is the main characteristic of bomo or power. He or she shall not be called as bomo or dukun or power unless he or she works together with the unseen world. That is why some bomo, they can tell you exactly what is your problem even before you open your mouth. If you go to see them because of some problems, you want them to cure your illness or solve your problems, or problems with your wives, with your husbands, with your children, they will tell you. You don't have to tell me. I know who you are, I know what's your name, I know where you come from, and I know exactly what's your problem. And he or she will tell you exactly. And that will amaze people. People will be amazed. People will be, fascinated, because they will say that this bomo is really gifted. This bomo is really, superior. He is really talented, and he knows how to treat illnesses. And people will recommend other people, and people will recommend another people. So that's how this tradition, this evil tradition, is still alive in the Malay society, or even in anywhere in the world. Okay. However, the jinn, even though people think that the jinn will help them in the process of treatment, in the process of curing any illnesses of sickness, but actually the jinn will only give them more sickness. And this is what happened nowadays. I mean, a lot of people who came to us mentioning about their problems, and they mentioned to us that they have gone to a lot of people, a lot of places. They have paid thousands of ringgit to those people, but the problem is still continue, and it seems that there's no hope for recovery. So I asked them, who did you see? They said, somebody in the kampung, or some ustaz who, you use a lot of kaidah, or a lot of techniques, including treating from afar. Ruqyah from afar means ruqyah jarak jauh, or bedah batin, whatsoever. And this is actually associated with the world of the jinn. None can operate, or none can, really treat people from the world of unseen, of ghaib, except with the help of the jinn. None can really do the bedah batin except with the help of the jinn. Alright? And this is included in what we call as black magic. It's a black magic. There's no white magic. Magic in the Arabic, it is called sihr. Sin ha ra, sihr. Be it the sihr or be it the magic, with the sleight of hand of trickery or illusions whatsoever, or be it those who practice black magic with the help from the jinn. In Arabic, it is called sihr. Yeah? Even though you use the jinn or not, it's a sihr, right? So that is why it is forbidden in Islam. Even though we do not use jinn in sleight of hands, or in palmistry, or in illusion, like some people they used to perform magic with cards. There's no jinn there, but it is deception. The practice involves deception. The biggest liars or the best liars in the world is the magicians. It is not magic. The thing is not, for example, if they can disappear a thing in front of your eyes, the thing does not disappear. It's still there. It's just that he deceives you. He just creating an illusion that the thing is not there. Alright? فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. Allah mentioned rahaqa. Rahaqa here means the jinns were courageous and increased in insolence against them. As Suddi said, a man used to set out with his family on a journey until he came to a piece of land where he would settle, and then they will say, when they sought refuge, they will say, I will seek refuge from the master jinn. أعوذ بسيد هذا الوادي. I seek refuge بسيد هذا الوادي. Seek refuge from the Sayyid. Sayyid means the master, or the head, or the chief, the chief of the jinn of this valley, from the jinns. I've explained it before, how we can get an asylum, political asylum, for example. If we are a convict or a wanted person, we can ask protection from a leader or from some influenced people from that country, so that we will not be getting caught or how to say this, being having trouble. Ibn Abi Hatim recorded from Ikrimah that he said the jinns used to fear humans just like humans fear them. And I've mentioned it before. This is just a revision, that jinn actually they fear humans more than we fear them. If you think that being alone in the dark or being alone in the jungle is terrifying enough, believe me that the jinn fear us more than that. The jinn fear us more than that, because we are Number 6, verse number 6. It's just a revision. We repeat the same thing the last week, just as a revision. So there's no point for us to fear the jinn, or to fear anything that associated with the jinn, like the ghost, spirits, black magic, even ain, hasad, or anything else, because everything is the makhluk of Allah Azza wa Jal. Everything is existed because of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. For example, the sihr, the black magic, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 102, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentioned وَمَا يَضَرُّونَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, that the sahir, that the magicians from among the jinn and the humans, they cannot harm anybody with the sihr except bi-iznillah, except with the permission from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah is the one who permits the thing to happen. Sihr can be done, it can be happen, it can affect people because of the permission from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The jinns themselves cannot cause any harm to any human beings. then they did not know about all the unseen things. In the verse following this verse, for example, وَأَنَّا لَا نَدْرِي أَشَّرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ أَرَادَ بِهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ رَشَدًا. Verse number 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 6, 7, 8. Verse number 9, number 10. When Allah SWT says, وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ فَوَجَدْنَاهَا مُلِئَتْ حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا. Verse number 8. Which means we can dispatch, because the problem with this paper, it doesn't have this page number. وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ فَوَجَدْنَاهَا مُلِئَتْ حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا وَأَنَّا كُنَّا نَقْعُدُ مِنْهَا مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ فَمَنْ يَسْتَمِعِ الْآنَ يَجِدَ لَهُ شِهَابًا رَصَدًا وَأَنَّا لَا نَدْرِي أَشَّرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ أَرَادَ بِهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ رَشَدًا. The page, with the subtitle or subheadings, the jinn stealing information. The jinn stealing information. The page before and the page and the same page. وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ. And we have sought to reach the heaven. وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ. The jinn told to each other, or the jinn, it's like a monologue. Actually, the Surah Al-Jinn is like a monologue. The monologue of the jinn, or a conversation between the jinns that Allah recorded in this surah. They're like telling each other that we used to go to the heaven, or we used to go to the nearest heaven, sama ad-dunya, the worldly heaven. We have 7 heavens, sab'a samawat. Sab'a samawat means the 7 heavens, the 7 skies. And the lowest sky is the sky of dunya, including the whole universe that we know today, with the billions of galaxies, with the trillions of stars that is being visible or can reachable to us, to the scientists, that they can study about our galaxy, about the Milky Way, or whatever galaxies available in the database of our astronomists. All of that is in this first sky, in the first heaven. So this jinn, they can go to the first, to the limit or the boundary of the first heaven. What do they do there? What do? They are stealing information. They're stealing information. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the new order, new instruction, qada means the order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels will converse among themselves. What does your Lord, what does your Rabb tell you? From the Jibril alayhi salam. From Jibril alayhi salam, he says, Al-Haqqul Haqq. The truth. The truth of what? The truth is what is going to happen in the world from time to time. So this conversation can be heard by the jinn. وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ فَوَجَدْنَاهَا مُلِئَتْ حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا. And then وَأَنَّا كُنَّا نَقْعُدُ مِنْهَا مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ. And we used to be there, مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ. There is like a maqa'id, like a maq'ad, or maq'ad means like a place to sit down, a place where they can sit. It's like a bench or a chair for them to sit and they can steal the information. And this kind of information is useful for who? It's useful for the fortune teller. It's useful for the bomo, for the pawang, for the oracles. That is why the kings of the past, all of them or most of them, have their own oracles. You know oracles? The oracles is like have you heard about this Nostradamus? Nostradamus,
Dalam bahasa Melayu apa?
tukang nujum, ahli nujum,
Nujum tak benar.
pak nujum,
Royal penasihat.
the royal the royal fortune teller or the royal forecaster, because they can forecast, not forecast, but they can tell us about the future. And last time, before the Quran is revealed to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people actually can know about the future exactly, because there were few of the meteors. There were few meteors being shot to the shaitan, the shayateen. But after the meteors, or after the Quran is being revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the meteors getting more intense. The meteor attacks on the shaitans got more intense, and that is why they got they were they were stunned, and they were amazed, and they said to themselves, what is happening? There must be something has been happened on this world that we cannot steal the information anymore. Because when they went there, when they went to the first sky or the first heaven, they cannot steal the information, because they saw a lot of harasan shadida wa shuhuba. Harasan means guards. There were a lot of security guards. Who are there? The malaika, the angels. The angels who guarded the heaven. And then a lot of shuhuba. Shuhuba means meteors. That is why in Islam, Islamically, meteors are actually things that Allah SWT created to cast away the devils, to cast away the shaitan. And it's been written in the Quran in many places. For example, in Surah Al-Mulk, وَأَنَّا زَيَّدْنَا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا شُهُوبًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. And that we decorate the skies. We decorate the sky with bimasabih. Masabih means lights. Masabih means lights, or lanterns. Masabih. وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. And those skies, those stars were created. One of the functions is رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. Rujum for the shayateen, rujum for the devils. What is rujum? Something that being thrown upon or thrown against the devils. Rajam, rujum, rajam. Okay, but the scientists said that the meteors are,
Whenever you see a meteor, so that means that point in time that the shaitan is being.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we react? Do you say, is the answer or what?
There's nothing. There's just because when there was one time that the Sahaba and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they sat together and they saw a meteor, a comet, falling down from the sky, and then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them, "What do you used to say about this in the Jahiliyyah? What did you used to say about this, about the meteor, about the comet in the time of Jahiliyyah?" And they said, it is because the comet or the meteor falls down or fell down from the sky because somebody with a great, how to say this, a great man is born or a great man is died. So Nabi SAW said, "Laisa kazalik." It's not like that. Laisa kazalik. But the meteor or the comet is being shot against the shaitan. Against the shaitan. Okay? Allahu a'lam bis-shawab. It has been written in the Quran. It's been explained in the Hadith, and and that is enough evidence for us. Allahu a'lam bis-shawab. The jinn stealing information from the sky before the messenger was sent and striking them with flaming fire after his coming. Allah informs about the jinns when He sent His messenger Muhammad ﷺ and revealed the Quran to him. Among the ways He, Allah, protected it, يعني Al-Quran, was by filling sky with stern guards, guarding it from all of its sides, from the all sides of the universe or the skies. The devils were then expelled from the places where they used to sit prior to that. Maybe they sit on the planet, on any planet, or maybe on one of the moons of the planets, or one of the stars, Allahu A'lam. This was so that they could not steal anything from the Quran and tell it to the soothsayers, because Al-Quran is being revealed by Allah SWT. It is sent down upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stage by stage, one by one, or portion by portion. It is not being revealed in a lump sum basis, but through 23 years. That is the period of time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the Quran, piece by piece. That is why it's so important to guard it from being hurt by the shayateen. Because if the information about the Quran can be stolen by the shayateen, sorry, I use the word shayateen. Shayateen means plurals of shaitan. Shaitan means many shaitan means shayateen. There's no shaitans in the English dictionary. Even shaitan is from the Arabic. Shayateen means Arabic. Shayateen can be stolen by the shayateen, and the shayateen, these demons, these devils, can tell their bomo and pawang, among the humans. So before Muhammad recite the verse, somebody may have heard the same verse from somebody else. You get what I mean? So this will pollute the holiness of Quran, mencemarkan kesucian Al-Quran, because Al-Quran is a mu'jizah. Al-Quran is a miracle. There's nobody, there's no sahir, there's no kahin, there's no bomo, there's no black magician, will have, how to say this, will be able to know about the Quran before it's sent down upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why a lot of Quraishites, or the people of the Quraysh, they told the people that Muhammad is a black magician. He's a magician, sahir. And Allah answered that in the Quran, وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَاعِرٍ قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ وَلَا بِقَوْلِ كَاهِنٍ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. It is not the word of the sha'ir. It's not a poetry. Quran is not a poem. It is not the word of the poet, of any poet. And it's not the word of the kahin. Kahin means the fortune teller, or the bomo. Very little of you who thinks, very little of you who believe. That's why it's important to guard the Quran from being stolen by the shaitan before it being received by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was so that they could not steal anything from the Quran and tell it to the soothsayers, thereby causing matters to be confused and mixed up. If this happened, it would not be known who was being truthful. See, Allah did this out of His kindness to His creation, His mercy upon His servants, and His protection of His mighty book, the Quran. This is why the jinn said, وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ فَوَجَدْنَاهَا مُلِئَتْ حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا وَأَنَّا كُنَّا نَقْعُدُ مِنْهَا مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ فَمَنْ يَسْتَمِعِ الْآنَ يَجِدْ لَهُ شِهَابًا رَصَدًا. So Whoever among the jinns try to steal the information, try to go there, try to go to the limit of the first heaven, he or she will find shihab al-rasada, a lot of meteors being showered upon them. وَأَنَّ لَا نَدْرِي. See, the next verse. وَأَنَّ لَا نَدْرِي أَشَّرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ أَرَادَ بِهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ رَشَدًا. And we know not whether evil is intended for those on earth, or whether their Lord intends for them guidance. This means that the jinn does not know what is the purpose of the meteor. وَأَنَّ لَا نَدْرِي. We do not know. وَأَنَّ لَا نَدْرِي أَشَّرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Is it evil, or is it a bad thing being intended for the people on the earth, or is it something good that their Lord, their Allah, their Rabb is giving to them? You get what I mean? This means the devil, the shayateen, does not know about unseen things. They are unseen from our eyes. We cannot see them. They are unseen for us. But they are unseen worlds from the perspective of the jinn. The jinn cannot see the hell and heaven. The jinn cannot see Allah. The jinn cannot see, the Lah Mahfuz. The jinn cannot see the Taqdeer. They do not know what is going to happen. What they do, what the shayateen do, what the devils do, against us in this dunya, is just to give us yuwaswisu fi sudurinas, to give us waswas, the seduction, the deception, so that we will go astray. But we still have this control of ourselves, control to choose whether we want to do good things or we want to do bad things. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. Allah SWT said that He Subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the idea. فَأَلْهَمَهَا. Ilham. Alhamaha means Allah Ta'ala gives us the ideas. Fujuraha wa taqwaha. The ideas for us to do bad things, fujuraha wa taqwaha, or to be God-fearing people. To choose the taqwa path, the path of the taqwa. So we can choose. Alam naj'al lahu najdain. Did we not give them two choices? Najdain, two choices. Either to be good men or to be bad men. That's why the jinn, they do not know our taqdeer. They do not know, are we going to be sa'id, happy, or shaqi, or being people that will be destroyed in the hellfire? Are we going to be happy, or are we going to see happiness in the paradise, or are we going to be, punished in the hellfire? Nobody knows, even the jinn. Even the jinn does not know whether we are having a heart with ikhlas or not. Nobody can tell them. Even the malaika, even the jinn. Because ikhlas is the secret between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What the malaika do is just writing down or recording our deeds, our heart, our deeds, our niyyah. But whether our niyyah is really ikhlas or not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not for them to know. It's not for the jinn to know. They will only come to us during our salah. When we perform salah, there's a jinn or there's a shaitan called khanzat or khinzib that will yuwaswisu fi sudurinas. Hey, you forgotten to do this lah. You forgotten to do this lah. Hey, you remember this thing. Remember this thing. Then it's up to us whether we want to follow those, those seductions, or we just continue praying with focus and khusyuk. So the best thing to do is, for this waswas, is to ignore them. Just ignore them. A lot of us asking me how we should deal with waswas. I said, just ignore. When you're performing ablution, taking wudu, and you suddenly forgotten, or suddenly you are not forgotten, but you're just being confused, unnecessarily. Tadi macam dah basuh kepala, ke sudah ke belum? And then the shaitan is actually trying to make you confused. But you know that your head is already wet. So what you do is, sudahlah. Just sudahlah. Lantaklah. Lantak pilah. Aku dah basuh. Aku yakin. That's why in the fiqh, if we learn fiqh, the confidence or the yaqeen cannot be abolished by waswas or by how to say this, confusion, or something that we cannot confident with. So confidence cannot be cancelled or cannot be abolished by our how to say this, mana cakap was-was dalam bahasa Inggeris? Not whisper, but something like we ragu-ragu. Hesitation, doubts. Yeah. Confidence cannot be abolished by doubts. That's the word. Yeah, that's the right word for that. Okay, yeah, you got what I mean. So that is why in fiqh, to deal with the waswas is to ignore them, unless if we think that we really haven't do that. For example, baru basuh muka, kepala belum lah. Okay. So that's the clear thing for us to do. Wa anna la nadri asyarrun urida biman fil ardi am arada bihim rabbuhum rasyada. And this verse teach us an adab, an ethic, or a manner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you see these words, or you see the verse, wa anna la nadri asyarrun urida biman fil ard. Urida in Arabic means intended for. Urida biman fil ard, intended. In the translation, it said intended for those on earth. It doesn't say Allah intend and we not know whether evil is intended. And it doesn't say Allah intended evil for those on earth, because we do not associate evil and Allah directly. For example, in Surah Al-Falaq, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ means from the evil of those whom He created. Not from the evil that He created. He means Allah SWT. But it said min syarri ma khalaq, mean from the evil of the makhluk. From the evil of the makhluk, not the evil of that Allah SWT created. Allah created the makhluk, but Allah does not create evil directly, because something that look evil or something that looks bad to us actually is not bad at all. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بما عملوا بعد الذي ليذيقهم بما عملوا بعد الذي. How to say the words? The verse. ظهر الفساد. There were destructions on the land, on the sea. بما كسبت أيدي الناس, because of what has been done by the hands of the humans. What has been done by the hands of the humans. It's not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that sent down the destruction just like that, because destructions or musibats, bala, fitna, came down upon us because of our own deeds as kafara. Because this kafara means so that Allah SWT will forgive us for our sins, for our wrongdoings. That's why Nabi SAW said in one hadith in Sahih Muslim, when Nabi SAW said, Ajaban li amril mu'min, amazing, the affair of the mu'min, the affair of the believers are amazing. Inna amrahu kullahu lahu khair. Verily, his or her affair is all good for him or her. It's all good for him or her. Be it good or be it bad things happen in our life, is good for the mu'min. It's good for the believer, if we are believers. وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ لِأَحَدٍ إِلَّا لِلْمُؤْمِنِ. And this does not happen to anybody but believers. In أَصَابَتْهُ سَرَّاء شَكَرَا فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. Because when every time there's a good thing happen to him or her, he or she thanks Allah, shakara, he thanks Allah. فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. And that is good for him or her. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُمْ ضَرَّاء صَبَرًا. But when bad things afflicted him or her, صَبَرًا, he or she become patient. فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. And that is good for him or her. That is why in Islam, when the word or the phrase Alhamdulillah does not necessarily to be mentioned only in the time of goodness, but it should also be recited or should be also be mentioned in the time of in the time of difficulties. Nabi SAW used to say this phrase, Alhamdulillahi ala kulli hal. Not like us, when we are happy, when we are, in the good times, and people ask, how are you? Well, Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, Alhamdulillah, for all the ni'mah. But when we are sick, or when we have problems, when people ask us, how are you, bro? Not so good lah, like this lah. That's not the right way to deal with that problem. The right way to say is Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. Because even though it is bad thing that happened to us, actually it's good for us. And this mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sorry, come again.
You're not feeling good when someone asks how you do that, and you say, Alhamdulillah, I'm feeling hard.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of problem. Can you continue that?
Yeah, sure, can. Alhamdulillah ala kulli hal. We have this kind of problem, but Alhamdulillah, again, Alhamdulillah, because problems are actually, or some afflictions actually for believers are good for them, because those who never suffer from anything in this world, it is it is feared for him or her that Allah SWT may have delayed the punishment in the akhirah, because the punishment in the akhirah is more severe. It's more severe. وَالْآخِرَةُ أَكْبَرُ وَعَذَابُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ. Azab of akhirah is more severe on the people. Alhamdulillah, Allah SWT give the affliction upon us during our time in this dunya, rather than istidraj. Or istidraj means people who are living in a sinful kind of life, sinful, a lot of sins. He or she committed a lot of sins and never repent, and then he or she is still living in a happy life. He seems happy. and happy life, there's no problems. They're getting richer and richer every day, but they're sinful. And this is what we fear to be istidraj from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Istidraj means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delays the punishment. Delays the punishment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permits them to enjoy all those things while they are alive, so that they will think, they will be deceived, deluded that they are good people actually, or that God abandoned them, or God does not be being angry upon them. And this is very, 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 very frightening actually. It's very frightening. So be worried. Be worried if we never experience any sickness or illness in our life, because that is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not intend for us, does not intend mercy upon us. Because sickness, illness, problems, afflictions is all, it's a kind of mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu a'lam bissawab. And that is why in the next page we can read there, we do not know if the matter which has occurred in the sky is intended for those who are in the earth, or if their Lord intends some guidance for them. They stated this in such a manner out of their etiquette, out of their etiquette in phrasing their speech. See, the jinns also have this kind of etiquette when mentioning about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you see that? Who is more kinder towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, us or jinn? The jinn, they have this kind of manner. They do not associate bad things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they did not attribute the doing of evil to anyone, and they attributed the good to Allah. Verily, it has been recorded in the Sahih, وَالشَّرُّ لَيْسَ إِلَيْكَ. See, in the Sahih or the Sahih Bukhari, وَالشَّرُّ, and the evil of bad things, لَيْسَ إِلَيْكَ, is not associated to you. It's not associated to you. The evil is not attributed to you, yani Allah. It used to be that shooting stars or meteors occurred before this. However, it did not happen much, rather only occasionally, as was reported in the hadith of Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, when he said, while we were sitting with the messenger of Allah, a shooting star flashed in the sky. So the Prophet said, Ma kuntum taquluna fi hadha. And as I mentioned about this story before, Ma kuntum taquluna fi hadha. What do you used to say about this? We replied, said the Sahaba, we used to say that a great person has been born and a great person has died. The Prophet said, Laysa kazalik walakin Allah idha qada al-amr fi as-sama. It's not like that. It's not like what you thought. But actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the meteor, or sent down the shooting star, because He ordered new things. He ordered a decree from the upper heaven. And then he went on to narrate the rest of the hadith, which we have already mentioned in its entirety in Surah Saba. Okay, this is what caused them to seek the reason for this occurrence. So the jinn, they sought the reasons, or they sought the factor, or the thing that make this thing happen. So they set out searching in the east and the west. When they found the messenger of Allah reciting the Quran while leading his companions in prayer, thus they knew that this Quran was the reason for the sky being guarded. Therefore some of them believed in it, and the others became more rebellious in their transgression. So nafaru min al-jinn, a group of jinn that who listened to the Quran recitation by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, some of them chose to be believers, and some of them chose to be, chose to be together with the Iblis, become the shayateen, yani kafir. A discussion of this has preceded in the hadith of Ibn Abbas concerning Allah's statement in Surah Al-Ahqaf. وَإِذْ صَرَفْنَا إِلَيْكَ نَفَرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ يَسْتَمِعُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. And the same verse mentioning about the coming of the jinn, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this happen before the hijrah, during the period of Makkah, when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba were praying Fajr in Uqaz in Makkah. That was when the jinn came to them and listening to the recitation. فَقَالُوا إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا. Those jinn, that used to go to the first heaven, that used to steal the information from the sky, that used to be with the Iblis, that used to be with the Kahin, the Sahir, the black magician and whatnot. And when they listened to the Quran, some of them said, فَقَالُوا إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا. Verily, we have heard a beautiful recitation, an amazing recitation. And again, I use this, I believe this is a dalil that the jinn do not fear Al-Quran at all. Awak bacalah ayat kursi 100 kali pun dia tak takut. Dia akan masih mengilai kat awak. The ghost will not run away. The Satan will not run away from you, even though you read the Ayatul Kursi 1,000 times. That's why in Ruqyah Shar'iyyah, As-Suyuti and Ibn Hajar Al-Asqalani rahimahumullah mentioned that the ulama of Ahl-Sunnah in consensus, ijma, in consensus that ruqyah or incantation is only permissible when there are 3 conditions met. These 3 conditions must be met so that the ruqyah will be regarded as mashru'ah or shar'iyyah. First of all is the ruqyah must be from the Quran or containing the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, we can recite Al-Fatiha, we can recite Ayatul Kursi. Ayatul Kursi can be recited as ruqyah. Any verse of the Quran, any verse, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Surah Al-Isra verse 82, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. And we send down the Quran face by face or stage by stage, which is containing shifa. Shifa means cure, and rahmah, mercy, upon the mu'minin, upon the believers. وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. And it does not give benefit, or it does not increase in zalimin, in people who are transgressors, except khasara. Except khasara means loss in the world and in the hereafter. That's why وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ. In the Quran, all of them are shifa. All of the verses, all of the chapters can be used, can be recited as ruqyah. And this is the dalil. This is the dalil. Some of people came and asked me, Ustaz, what is your dalil? We can ruqyah, use Quran. This is the dalil. The Sahaba of Nabi SAW, in the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, he did ruqyah on the head of Badawi using Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. And Jibril alayhi salam, the angel Jibril alayhi salam, came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was ill, and he recited on his head, Bismillahi arqika min kulli da'in yudhik وَمِن شَرِّ كُلِّ نَفْسٍ أَوْ عَيْنِ حَاسِدٍ اللَّهُ يَشْفِيكَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ أَرْقِيكَ. Means Bismillah, in the name of Allah, Arqika, I recite upon you, or I, Ruqyah is like incantation. In English is incantations or charms. Not spell. Spell is something for sihr, but like charms or incantations. I recite these incantations upon you. Arqika min kulli shay'in uzik, so that you will be, so that it will, Allah subhanahu will get rid of all your illnesses or your sickness. Allah yashfik, Allah is the one who cure you. Not me, not the ayah, not the dua, not the al-Fatiha, not the Quran, but Allah Ta'ala is the one who cure you. Allah yashfika. Secondly, the shart, the condition that must be met for the ruqyah to be permissible is that it must be in the Arabic language or any other language that is understood by the marqi. Marqi means the people who are being recited on. The patient. Marqi. Raqi is the one who recite the ruqyah. Marqi is the one who being receiving the ruqyah. The patient. So the patient must understand the language.
It must be written Arabic.
If the Quranic verses being used must be in Arabic, in the original form, not in the translation, not translated text. No, not all praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of all the worlds. No. It must be used Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Must be Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, not the most merciful, the most no. Translation should not be used. But other than Quran, other than dua, which is ma'thur, dua which is or the prayers, other than prayers that being taught by Rasulullah SAW, contained in all the book of hadith, we can use other languages. That is why the ulama they mention this condition, because sometimes ruqyah can be from other than Quran and hadith. Our own words, for example. In the name of Allah, I ask you, or I order you to go away from this body, for example. Come out from this body and never come back. Oh jinn, or filthy jinn, or you enemy of Allah, I ask you to go away from here and be fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and never come back. Never, disturb anybody else anymore, for example. We can use this as ruqyah, because this is ruqyah, because ruqyah is something that being recited to cure any kind of illnesses. That's the meaning of ruqyah. Ar-ruqyah in Arabic means al-'uzah. Al-'uzah means a prayer that is being recited for the purpose of asking for protection. Al-'uzah, ta'awuz, isti'azah, from the same word. What makes it different from any other dua is ruqyah is specifically to seek protection from evil, seek protection from sickness, seek protection from illnesses. You get what I mean? So ruqyah usually is a dua, and we use Al-Quran, we use dua or prayers from the hadith as ruqyah. Other than that, we can use any other languages, but must be clear. It must be, audible. It must be understood by the people. Even though you use Malay language, or even though you use English, but it does not, making sense. For example, we just use, for example, maybe a Malay word, maybe. For example, like pintu lah. You say pintu. Pintu. We just use the word pintu. Apa maksud kau pintu? What do you mean with pintu? Does not contain any meaningful, context. So that is also not permissible, because it may contain something else. It may contain words or combinations of words that is actually taught by the jinn as a jampi, as a mantra. And when the other jinns listening to the chord, to the words, that actually is a chord for them to come. Pitu, tingkap. Kau dengar tak? They're calling for us. Rupa-rupanya that jampi, in fact that jampi or that ruqyah is really being taught by the devil himself. That this is what happening in the Malay, for example, in the Malay traditional medicine, because there's a lot of jampi, there are a lot of incantations used by the bomoh, even though it contains Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it contains the word La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, but at the same time it contains words that is is not is not understood by the Malays, and it's not Shari. It contains shirk, for example. There's one jampi, there's one mantra, or there's one incantation usually used to cure people who got this kind of mental illness, used by the bomoh in the northern part of Peninsular Malaysia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ahad tutup ahad dini. Dikencing Allah dengan kalimah La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So it contains the word dikencing Allah. Does Allah do that? No. Subhanallah. Even though it contains Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, even though it contains La ilaha illallah, but it contains things or words that actually actually humiliate or actually dishonor Islam, dishonor Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being disrespectful towards the Creator. That is one of the sharts or conditions for the jinn, for the shaitan, to help human beings among the bomoh, among the dukun, which is they must not be a Muslim, or they must commit shirk or kufr before the jinn or shaitan will help them. That is why one of the conditions that the sihr can be done, can be happening. Sheikh Wahid al-Salambali, he wrote in his book Wiqatul Insan wa Asar Mubattar, one of the ways the sahir, the magician, can get an assistance from the shaitan in his work, in his sihr, is by tying up the mushaf al-Quran, the Quran mushaf. He tied it below his feet and used that as a sleeper, or use that as a footwear, and go into the toilet. Yeah. Or sometimes the shaitan, the devil, will ask them to write down any verse of the Quran, Qul huwallahu ahad, or Ayatul Kursi, or Al-Fatiha, and the ink is from the blood of the menses woman. Yeah. This is the truth about the sihr. This is the truth about black magic. Yeah. And or sometimes the condition will be like, the jinn will ask the bomoh, or the power, to sacrifice an animal without mentioning Allah's name, but to replace Allah's name with either the name of the jinn or the name of the bomoh. Not Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, but Bismi, maybe the jinn's name is Michael. Bismi Michael. Okay? Or Bismi, the name of tukang sihir, or the name of the bomoh, maybe the name is Abu, for example. Bismi Abu. And then the jinn will help them with their problems. But Allah said it doesn't solve the problem. فَزَدُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. The jinn actually will give them more terror, will give them more distractions. That's what's happening in the world nowadays. A lot of these descendants of the bomoh, descendants of the pawang. I read this book, Malay Magic by William Skid, and he mentioned that pawang. There's another books written by another Orientalist or another researcher or British researcher in the past about the Malay charms and cures. Malay charms and cures. Pawang actually, they have this jinn which they call hantu pusaka. This hantu pusaka, when they die, they will, the sons or the grandchildren will inherit this hantu pusaka. And I believe this is the original word of saka in Malay culture. A lot of saka happening in Malay society. And I was wondering what is this saka actually, until I found this book and I read about it. Subhanallah, and it gives me the answer. Hantu pusaka is the hantu pusaka. Hantu pusaka means inherited, inheritable ghost. Something that can be inherited. So this hantu pusaka, short form is saka. Allahu a'lam. And all the houses, if you read the book, it said that in the past, Malay folk in the villages, they used to call upon three ghosts to take care of the house. Three ghosts. Hantu Songke, Hantu Melayu, Hantu Belian. This is the names of the ghosts. A ghost means jinn lah. Hantu Songke, Hantu Melayu, Hantu Belian. And it's not. That's why we are nowadays. Alhamdulillah, I'm not wondering anymore why this kind of thing can be happen in the Malay society, because in the Arab world, in the Arab countries, Allah mentioned, and Rasulullah SAW also mentioned in the khutbatul, in the khutbah during the Hajj Wada, the last Hajj, he said that shaitan has been despaired. It has given up of asking you to do shirk on the land on the Arab Peninsula. That's why in the Jazirah Arab, where is the Mecca and Medina situated, there's no shirk. There's no shirk. That means there's no idols, there's no temples, there's no other religion decided on the land of the Haram, of the Mecca and Medina, in Saudi Arabia, or in the nearby countries, in Yemen, anywhere. There's no temples, being built. There's no shirk. But the shaitan, the iblis, will disturb or will attack the humans or the Muslims from other point of views. For example, from politics, from something else. Allahu a'lam bisawab. But in Malay Peninsula, that is what is happening now. And then every state, every palace, every king, they have their own jinn. The jinn of that guard them, until this day. And we know there's some places.
Always hear that Malay say daulat, kena daulat. Is that what they mean by that?
Yeah, kena daulat. Daulat means, okay, in the past I didn't know exactly. We thought that daulat means daulah. Daulah in Islam or in Arabic means a state. Daulah. Like the ISIS, Daulah Islamiyah of Iraq and Sham, Daesh. Daulah. Daulah means a state. But actually, from my conversation with old folks that used to stay in the palace in the past, they said that this sultan, I don't want to mention any name of the state. This sultan has passed away, but people used to see him cycling around around the area. There's a small village where this palace situated in, and then they used to see the late sultan cycling around, cycling around. And then all folks used to say them, do not say anything, jangan tegur. This is the daulat. This is the daulat of the sultan. Then I immediately understand. Daulat is jinn.
You say daulat.
Daulat is ada daulat means ada jin penjaga.
So when you say daulat tuanku,
Daulat tuanku means yeah. Jin, berdaulat means ada, because in the past they do not know the word jin. The Malays, they do not know the word jin. They know hantu, they know daulat, they know semangat.
So
Yeah.
the jinn resembles him?
Yeah, the jinn resembles him. And the jinn can resemble anyone, anything. The jinn can reappear themselves in the form of snakes, serpents, in the form of dogs, scorpions, or even lizards, even cockroaches. We do not know. But that's the specialty that Allah Ta'ala granted upon them. In the book, you can read a lot. There's a lot of book actually. Our ulama, our scholars has written a lot about jinns. For example, even in the Quran, Allah mentioned about Iblis, who formed himself, who disguised himself in the form of humans, and he seduced the Quraysh to go into the war with the Muslims during the Battle of Badr. It's Iblis who formed himself, he disguised himself in the form of Suraqa. This old man from Najd. His name is Suraqa ataupun Suraqa, and he is the one who pushed or who motivated Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab to go into the war. But when the battle happens, and then he saw 1,000 angels sent down by Allah SWT to help the Muslim, he ran away. But everybody can see him. Everybody can see this form of human, which is actually a jinn, because Iblis is a jinn. كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ. He is from among the jinn. Okay, so the jinn can disguise themselves into a lot of forms. Allahu a'lam bishawab. Yeah.
right, the thing is about the genes being the form of snake. Yeah. There's one hadith that says, do not kill them. That you have to wait until the 3 days.
Yeah, allow them to stay for 3 days.
3 days.
Or allow them to, or do not touch or do not kill them only after 3 days.
But then if there's another hadith that says when you're praying and you see some kind
Yep.
of any dangerous animal
Yep.
or insect, whatever, kill it.
Yeah.
So how does that, how do you know that this is a real snake or
Because the thing is that we cannot kill the jinn without this rightful killing of the jinn. The rightful killing of the jinn is when they're still in our house after 3 days, when they appear in front of us in salah. That is the two conditions that is allowed for us to kill them.
in the house and
In the house and outside the house.
or you can kill it, but
Yeah.
if they're outside the house?
Yep.
Okay.
Because when we see them in our prayer in salat, actually they are trying to disturb our salah. They're trying to violate our salah. So we are allowed to harm them. We are allowed to kill them. Even Rasulullah SAW during salah in Sahih Bukhari, it's been recorded in Sahih Bukhari, when the ifrit, one of the ifrit among the jinn, try to violate Rasulullah's salah by trying to throw him with a fire, and then Rasulullah caught his neck, okay? Try to get rid of him. So we are allowed to do harm on them in these two conditions: when they reappear, or when they still appear in front of us after 3 days, or they appear in front of us in salah. Yeah.
How are we going to be living in a house where there's a serpent for 3 days?
This kind of serpent is not ordinary serpent.
Can we just get rid of it? The moment we see serpent, we should get rid of it.
The moment you see serpent, you should call Jepam. That's the thing.
Because let it live with you for 3 days. I don't think anybody can go with that.
Nowadays, just call Jepam. Because our the way we live, our culture has changed a lot. we cannot do it because in the past because yeah.
But I did hear another teacher, another class, he did say that this jinn, when they appear in another form, not in its original form, they cannot appear for a long period of time, for a short period of time. So meaning if they come to your house, they won't appear as snake for 3 days. Maybe for a short while, and then they will come back.
Because the reason for that is actually the jinn that in the form of serpent in the house is actually the Muslim jinn. Because in the hadith it's clearly stated, and this hadith actually before I go further, this hadith is actually specifically for the snakes in the house of the Madinah, in the city of Madinah. Yeah. Because the hadith is clearly says, Nabi SAW said, verily in Medina, there are few jinns who have accepted Islam. And if you see serpents in your house, allow them for 3 days.
Now it sounds better.
Okay, it's different. The way we approach the hadith, to understand the hadith, it must be clear. I advise, if we see any snakes in our house, just call Jepam. It's more safer, inshallah. And in another narration that Nabi SAW said, because if it is a real jinn, and if it stays in our house more than 3 days, then that is not a Muslim jinn, but it is actually a kafir jinn. A kafir jinn or shaitan, then we are allowed to kill. But if it is a snake, it is an ordinary snake, it's not a jinn, then it is a dangerous animal. It's a dangerous animal, so we also should kill him. But the cooling period is 3 days. To differentiate between jinn or
I was thinking in Madinah, not anywhere else.
yeah, in Medina.
But what that statement is, which says that the jinn will not appear in another form for a long period of time.
I'm not sure about that.
His reasoning was, he said, if that is allowed by Allah, then our life will be difficult. Human's life will be difficult. Imagine, he says, if the jinn appears to be like your husband, and for a long time, then you're confused which is your real husband.
I'm not sure if it is due to because the ability for them to transform into any kind of other forms than their original forms, that it is permissible by Allah again. And this thing has been discussed by the scholars. Some of them of the opinion that Allah taught them a sentence or a phrase, that if they recite this phrase, they will change into something else. It's like abacadabra ke, ataupun nyak ninseng mata kaji ke apa ke, tak tahu lah kan. But there's a phrase that Allah Ta'ala who taught them. Maybe from the past, from Iblis, it's this thing has been taught by from generation to generation. You can change yourself into a snake. You can change yourself. Just recite this lah. This is the formula for that. But it can only happen with the permission from Allah SWT. So Allah SWT permits them to transform themselves into other forms. Maybe with limited time. Allahu Alam, we don't know. But there are few occasions being recorded by tabi'in, by sahaba, that they see jinn in in disguise. For example, Mujahid is the disciple of Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu. When he used to, this is an incident which happened after the demise of Ibn Abbas. When he performed a tahajjud at night, and he saw Ibn Abbas appear in front of him, and Ibn Abbas has died. If people nowadays they see this kind of thing, they say, "Oh, my teacher has gone into the highest makam." he has become a waliullah. See? But actually, this Mujahid is a renowned scholar of Tabi'in. He is mashallah scholar, and he knows this is shaitan. That man will never come back. See, this is our aqidah. That people will never come back to life.
Dangerous.
See, it's aqidah. And he said, the next night, the same entity, the same apparition came into his eyes, and then he has prepared a knife under his praying mat, and then the thing came, and he took the knife and he stabbed it. He stabbed it, and the thing ran away. The jinn ran away. This is the jinn, and they can transform themselves into human beings. Even Ibn Abbas, it can disguise into Ibn Abbas. It can disguise into Ustaz Sufri. It can disguise into anyone. See, but Allahu a'lam bisawab. I do not know. I mean, what's the evidence? They say that they can allowed to. But there are three types of three broad categories of jinn mentioned in one hadith. Nabi SAW said there are jinns who continuously fly on air. Continuously, they never touch the ground. They just hovering around. And then there are types that their shape is like snakes and dogs. Yeah. And then the third type is just like us, just like human. They live, they eat, they drink just like us, like human. Allahu a'lam bisawab.
So what about this? The predictions by Nostradamus?
Okay, after the Quran is revealed, the jinn still can. It's just you must understand the verse is not talking about the information cannot be stolen anymore. It's just that they went there and they were being guarded by the malaika, by the angels, and then they're being showered with the meteors. That is only during the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed a new revelation to His prophets. And in the full version of Tafsir Ibn Kathir, we can read a lot of information where some of the scholars of the opinion that in the past, every time when there's a prophet, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed His revelation, His kitab, His book, His holy book, the same incident will happen, which is there are more meteors in the skies, more angels will guard the heaven and whatnot. So Allahu a'lam, maybe after the Quran has been revealed completely, the meteors is not, because we can see in our sky there's lesser meteors. It's very seldom we see the meteors. Allahu a'lam. But still, in one hadith, Nabi SAW said, that's why the jinn, when they stole the information from the heaven, when they go to the earth, when they meet with this fortune teller like Nostradamus and whatnot, they will add it up with hundreds of lies. From 100 informations, maybe only 1 or 2 is true, while the rest is all lies. That's why Nostradamus, Allahu a'lam, his so-called prophecies, some are quite accurate, but some are not really accurate. There's no really clear, how to say this, fortune telling nowadays. Even the Nomoiko, even the Magnum, even the Sport Magnum, there's not really clear. Huh? But menurut the way to because they do the menurun is a part of calling the jinn to enter into somebody's body, and the jinn will speak with his tongue. Allahu a'lam bishawab. Okay, so
How about this one? Apa tu? Yang orang cucuk dari lawa tu.
susuk.
Susuk. They use a jinn tu?
Yeah, that is a form of sihir. It's a form of black magic.
Sihir.
Yeah. susuk. And susuk is not easy. It's not easy to get rid of it because they tanam, because they, you know.
It's not easy if you use the pure. It's not easy to.
I never encounter such case. Susuk punya case jarang-jarang jumpa. Kalau kita memang tak pernah lagi. I never try.
You never try.
If you know somebody who wants to get rid of the susuk, I can try. InsyaAllah, we can try.
How about
Sucker, many cases.
you manage to
Yeah.
cure it.
Sucker many cases. But actually, like I said, because originally, because the jinn, why they came to humans and they attack humans, because of the deeds, you know, being done by our ancestors. When the humans seeking refuge, seeking help from the jinn become, you know, they become amazed. They become what they wonder why humans seeking our help. You see? Oh, this means we are stronger than them, man. This means they need us so much. So that is why they become not stronger, but they become more arrogant. They become more stubborn, and they think that they are more powerful than us. It's not because they are really powerful, because Allah says in the Quran, "Inna kayda shaytani kana da'ifa." Verily, the kayda shaytan means this deception of the shaytan is weak. It's very weak. Kana da'ifa. So they're not strong, and we are more stronger. We are more superior than them actually. Allah.
Can you explain how this illusionist work?
Illusionist. Silap mata. Illusionist, magic. Okay, illusionist. There are many kinds of illusionists or illusions. Sometimes they use sleight of hand. You know, sleight of hand means sometimes the magician they do this palming. They do, you know, maybe props. You know, maybe they use mirrors, they use magnets or whatsoever. Illusions can be done in many ways.
Like what
David Copperfield did is actually what he did actually is stage. The Statue of Liberty performance is stage performance. Is stage. Means the audience is not the real audience.
Street audience.
It's not really, it's paid audience. It's paid audience. It can be done on television. It's normal. David Blaine, 2 or 3 of the people maybe, you know, paid. It can be done in many ways. So it's illusion is illusion lah. There's no real about it. Nothing real.
They use Jinn.
No. I like to watch a lot of magical performance. To study actually, to learn about how they do things. You know, last time we were like just like other people. I mean, I was amazed with what they did. I thought this is jinn. It's not. Basically, it's not everything is you know, related to jinn.
But chances are there are some.
Chances there are some. There are some of them. But it's not that easy. Like I said, the jinn they can do things for humans, but with a lot of conditions. And these conditions, they must sacrifice animal lah. They must, you know, do bad things lah. Allahu a'lam.
When it comes to tricks, magic tricks, especially those people coming for school children.
Yeah.
Does that fall under lying?
Yeah, it basically is fall under line because magic is based on deception. Like I said, magicians a lot of magicians they confess that they are, you know, true liars actually. They cannot perform magic without lying. So in Muslims, a good Muslim shall not be a magician. Because Rasulullah says, "Man ghasya falaysa minna." Whoever cheat, whoever tell lies, is not from us. It's not from the mu'min, not from the Muslimin. And the Sahaba, they used to say that we never know how to lie. That's why adalatu sahaba, which means the attributes of adl, justice among the sahaba, means they never tell lies. That's why all the hadith, if you see it is narrated by a sahaba, it is a sahih hadith. From the point of view of muhaddisin, we never question this sahaba, is it sahih or da'if? No, all sahaba is adil. They never cheat. Allahu a'lam.